Hi everyone, I'm Clement, and today I would like to share about my experience as I journey to Budapest, where the Champions League final was held. Some football trips are planned, and there are others that becomes memories that we carry for the rest of our lives. And this one was one of those journeys where I left Singapore with one destination in mind, which is to go to Hungary, Budapest to be specific, and that is the host city of the Champions League final, which is the biggest night in the European club football history. Continent's finest clubs compete for the most prestigious trophy in the game. For Arsenal supporters, it was like destiny, being crowned the champions of England. Mikel Arteta's side had one final mountain to climb, which is to conquer Europe. Every corner of the city seemed to be preparing for football's grandest occasion. There were historic buildings, beautiful plazas, there were the Champions League branding that was all around. Standing beside this giant Arsenal squad display board, taking pictures with that, seeing our players featured, being able to even stand beside the actual Champions League trophy, take some close-up pictures with it. We were able to walk the streets where there were some overhanging Arsenal shirts that were just very beautifully decorated down the whole stretch of a street. And of course, the skies were great that day. It was nice and blue. The weather was great as thousands of people gathered around to catch a glimpse of the football's ultimate prize. We had this very iconic moment where I remember all of us as Arsenal fans gathered in the thousands, singing and chanting and celebrating us just being newly crowned the Premier League champions, being the champions of England. We sang so many songs as we marched on towards the stadium grounds. Everybody dressed in red, swinging their scarves, and we were just having songs that were echoing through the streets as we marched towards the stadium. Budapest, or what it felt and what it looked like to me, was really red that day when all of us were wearing our red in support for Arsenal. Arsenal fans especially were dreaming that Arsenal become champions of Europe for the very first time. It was truly something that we all had so much anticipation for. Inside the stadium, for the first few minutes, we were all hearing the chants, and pre-game as well, there was performance by the Killers, singing many iconic songs like Mr. Brightside, and we all sang along as they had this live performance for us before the game started. Before the game started, each of the clubs, Paris Saint-Germain had their tifo wrote down, and as well, Arsenal had our own tifo as well on our side. And this is where I had the chance and the privilege as well to go up close into the stadium grounds, see our players in flash and in person. And once the whistle blew off, we all watched on with huge anticipation. And in this grander stage in the Champions League final, Kai Havertz put us ahead 1-0 up. Well within 10 minutes, we scored first, and the ball hit the net, and Arsenal exploded. People were jumping, hugging, 1-0 lead in the Champions League final. Now as first half wore on, we held on to our lead, we defended our box well, and everybody was really compact as a team, playing for each other. All of them trying their best. We just had 45 more minutes as we entered the break. From the greatest nights of the club's history. And the opposition in the second half did slowly, fight their way back into the game. And then came the moment where all of us feared a penalty to Paris Saint-Germain, and that was when we all held our breath. And that penalty was converted by PSG, and it was 1-1. 1-1 where it was a draw again, and the remaining minutes just felt endless. Every tackle, every corner mattered, every attack mattered. There were nerves now. There was extra time now. We played the whole extra time and there was still nothing to set apart PSG and Arsenal. There was really players that were, you could see, fighting their best, giving their all. Opportunities came and went for us. We were having some breakaway chances, but really nothing came to be. No match winners, even after 120 minutes. And the biggest prize in club football would be then decided by penalties, which is the cruelest way possible. And each kick taken, there were a lot of emotions. We did have one great save by David Raya on Mendes' shot. But unfortunately, Eze and Gabriel did not convert their penalty chances. And with that miss, it was just suddenly all over for us. Arsenal had just fallen short in the Champions League final penalty shootout. And the players, I could see right in front of my eyes that they have given their best. Tears in our eyes. It was an absolute heartbreak. Our players as well, some of them collapsed on the field, some of them sending encouragement. It was really nice that all of us could still experience this together. As our players walked up to collect their runners-up medal, it was still a lot of pride for all of us. We were able to conquer England, be champions of England, but to come through all the way to the Champions League final, to march through Europe, be on the grandest of stages in club football, that's still progress, and that's still us inching closer than ever to the biggest prizes in club football. And for me, myself, unforgettable time in Budapest, being close up with friends, being close up with all these fans alike, united in one heart, cheering on the team, having so much pride in a great and amazing season. This journey is something that I'll never forget. It is a beautiful story still, that I still have so much pride in the team, in the club, having achieved so much success this year. From dreams of European glory to still being huge amount of pride for what our players have fought throughout these past 2 decades, being able to win the Premier League again. Now, this is one experience that I'll never forget, right? And with that, let's just close this off by saying, come on, the Arsenal!